Hello, I hope you're well. Sorry, I'm a minute late getting started right now. I was just caught up in something and I lost track of time. So yes, happy International Women's Day. So a day to celebrate all women, and we're going to be singing a few songs today related to that, to celebrate women, and we're also going to continue with our Irish theme in the songs. So songs that we've been learning for the joint Irish session that's going to be on Zoom on the 17th of March, which you're all very, very welcome to join in with, when we're going to meet up with singers from Singing for Breathing groups in Cambridge and the Forest of Dean. So one of the silver linings to this lockdown is that we can actually link up with folk who we normally wouldn't be able to get to meet. So let's make the most of the silver linings. So I'm going to stand. Let me just check everything's okay there and adjust my camera. I'm going to take this cardie off. And let's have a good stretch, whether you're standing or sitting. Really stretching out the tips of your fingers. Stretching across the chest if you can, if that's comfy. Do say hi. Do let me know who's there. Do let me know if the sound's coming through okay. Hi, Senga. Really stretching out the tips of the fingers. And then a bit of a yawn while we do it. And just seeing if we can really widen across the throat. One more stretch and yawn. Lovely. And let's stretch up with one arm as high as you can up to the ceiling, and then flop down to the wrist, flop down to the elbow, and flop down to the elbow. Sorry, the shoulder. And then just see how that arm feels compared to the other one. Just notice any difference. And then we'll even ourselves up. We'll stretch up on the other side. Big stretch all down the side of the body. And then flop down to the wrist, flop down to the elbow, and flop down to the shoulder. And just notice how that feels. And then let's do it again on each side. So stretching up and flop down to the wrist. So the fingers are all floppity. Flop down to the elbow and flop down with the shoulder. And how does that arm feel now? That feels a bit lower than the other one on my body. But it might be different on your body. Just checking in, noticing how that is on your body right now. It might be different one day to another day. And the more we can be aware of what's going on in our bodies, the chances are we're going to be a bit kinder to ourselves. So let's stretch up again with the other arm and flop down to the wrist. Oh, I flopped down too far. Flop down to the wrist, flop down to the elbow, and flop down to the shoulder. And notice how that is now. Notice how where your shoulders are compared to maybe they were before we did that stretch up. Mine certainly feel a bit further back. And let's bring the shoulders up to the ears and down with a bit of a sigh, but lengthening up through the spine as we go down. So the spine lengthens as the shoulders come down. So let's do that again. Shoulders forward, up to the ears, shoulders down, and spine lengthening. So you might want to imagine that cord coming out the crown of your head or puppet string. It's just lifting ever so slightly. So let's do that one more. Shoulders up to the ears, down and back, and spine lengthening. Lovely. And let's have a bit of a shake. shaking out the hands one way and the other way. Sideways again, up and down, and up high, and down low, and to the left, and to the right. And let's bring the rest of the body into it. So bum and belly, always good to have a bit of a shake. Only do what's comfortable for your body. Shimmy up and down a bit if your knees can take it. And then let's shake out any grumbles or frustrations we might have. So making a little bit of noise. Any noise that wants to come out. Awesome. So let's give our necks a wee bit of attention. So ear down to shoulder without lifting the shoulder up. Just gently over on one side, getting a bit of a stretch down the other side. The scalene muscles often get quite tight. And then gently imagine somebody's pulling that cord just to bring the head back up to the centre. And then over to the other side again. Ear down to shoulder as far as is comfy with getting just a little bit of a stretch. And then back to the centre again. And then giving the neck a little bit of a stroke, whatever your neck feels like it might need to help it. Just release a little. It's reminding it that it doesn't need to tense up. And particularly when we're singing, we're hoping that most of the power is going to come from down here, these muscles. So we don't want to be forcing anything from here. This needs to be lovely and soft. So just encouraging it to soften a wee bit. And then let's do a few gentle neck turns, imagining our beautiful owl, speckled owl feathers or white feathers. Is that a barn owl, I think, that's predominantly white. So turning the neck very gently to one side. So seeing if you can soften. Soften, soften, soften. And as we go back, let's just make a gentle noise on any pitch that's comfortable. And keep the softness in the neck. Breathing when you need to. And changing pitch, finding another note. And another one. And back to the center. And then chin very gently down to your chest. And then all the way back up again. Lovely. So let's give our jaw a little bit of a rub. Bit of warmth in the hands. It's quite cold today. I was in the sea at sunrise for International Women's Day today. 6:30. It was cold. Cold but nice. So really getting into the jaw. Give it a good squidge. Wake it up, warm it up. And then let's do rabbit munching a carrot. And a big silent scream. Rabbit. Silent scream. Rabbit. Different silent scream. Awesome. Great. And then let's stretch one arm out in front if that's comfy. I've gone all out of focus again. Hopefully it'll refocus on me in a minute. And then the other arm. And then first arm. And then using that arm to begin a lovely self-hug. Just giving yourself a bit of kind attention. We all need hugs. We've not been getting enough hugs recently. So we might need to just give ourselves some hugs, and that's always available, always possible. Hi Joan, hi. Good, sounds good, excellent. Thanks for letting me know. Great. So let's wake our tongue up. My body lies over the ocean with the tongue as far down to your chin as you can. And don't be tempted to bring it back in to articulate the words. The point of this isn't for it to sound beautiful. It's to give the tongue a stretch. So for it to be as far out as possible. My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. My body lies over the ocean. Don't bring back my body to me. Bring back, oh bring back, oh bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh bring back, oh bring back my body to me. Looks beautiful, I'm sure. It's such a good stretch for the tongue though. It's a really good workout. We should probably do that every morning. And let's wake up our muscles a little bit. So we're going to do 5 and then I'll tell you what we're going to do next. We're going to do s, sh and f, and then we're going to do long v, j and z. So I'll tell you before each one. So s, bursts of 5, and s, 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 s. Release, sh, 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 sh. Release, f, 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 f. Release, v, v. Release, j, j. Release, z, z. Lovely. Now we're going to do 10 of each and see if you can keep them even. These short, sharp bursts. You can put one hand here if you want, just to feel, just below the ribs, just to feel those muscles engaging, because they're very important muscles when we sing. So s, 10. S, 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 s. Release, sh, 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 sh. Release, f, 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 f. Release, v, long one, v, j, j, and z, z. Lovely. And let's see if we can do the same for 15. So we'll start again and try and keep them even again. So s to start with, and s, 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 s. Release, sh, 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 sh. Release, f, 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 f. Release, long v, release, j, j, and long z, z. Lovely. And you should feel this beginning to work here. And they're the same muscles that you engage when we do a little panting dog. And even if you just begin to do a panting dog, you can feel those muscles engaged. So those are the muscles that we want to use to power the breath that pushes the breath over the vocal folds and makes our singing noise. So we don't want the tension or the power to feel like it's coming from here, but to come from here. And that gives us much more efficient and much stronger breathing. So let us do our rope. Check in with our rope. So loose fist roughly on round the belly button. And we'll breathe out just really gently on she. 1, 2. She, belly to spine. And then release the belly muscles, let the air in. She. Release the belly muscles, open the mouth. She. Lovely. And let's do pie and chips. We've not done that for a while, so I've got pie and chips for tea tonight. And then release, and release from here. And we're going to gradually add in and peas and beans and ice cream and a glass of wine and a cup of coffee and an after 8 mint. And I will try and remind you which one we're adding in. So are you ready? Shoulders back, knees soft. I've muscles engaged. So panting dog. 1, 2, 3. I've got pie and chips for tea tonight and peas and beans. Release. I've got pie and chips and peas and beans for tea tonight and ice cream. Release. I've got pie and chips and peas and beans and ice cream for tea tonight and a glass of wine. I've got pie and chips and peas and beans and ice cream and a glass of wine for tea tonight and a cup of coffee. I've got pie and chips and peas and beans and ice cream and a glass of wine and a cup of coffee for tea tonight and an after 8 mint. I've got pie and chips and peas and beans and ice cream and a glass of wine and a cup of coffee and an after 8 mint for tea tonight. Well done. I hope you managed that okay. I think that was a bit faster than we often do it, so maybe a little bit easier. And let's recap. We revisited a forwards and a back last week. So we're going to go over that again. So that's the little warm-up song exercise that just brings in lots of different voices. Our voices are so varied. They've got lots of different tones to them, lots of different types of voice that we can use. So it's good to get familiar with those so we can use them when we want to. So the first one is the cowboy. A forwards and a back and a forwards and a back. And a forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back. And then the second one is the very posh, around and around and around and around. Then we've got the whisper, this way, that way, this way, that way. And then the kind of grating the fingers on something that makes a kind of nasty noise, or the Wicked Witch. And then we're skiing. And then twinkly stars. So let's see if we can put that all together. So don't worry if you forget what comes next, just join in. So forwards and a back. 1, 2. A forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back. And round and round and round and round. This way. This way, that way. Shh. 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 Ooh. Ooh. round again, and a forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back, and a forwards and a back. Round and round and round and round. This way, that way, this way, that way. Eh, 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 eh. Shh. 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 Ooh. Ooh. There, hopefully we're warmed up and ready to go. So we're going to start with a short song that's based on a quote by the Supreme Court judge in America, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died in September last year. Quite a phenomenal woman. And this is a quote by her, and I set the quote to music. And I'll put the words in the chat. It's not long at all, so you can probably remember it fine. But the quote is, real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg was, she was only the second woman to be appointed as a judge at the American Supreme Court. She was the first Jewish woman. And she was appointed in 1993, age 60. I've gone all out of focus again. Hopefully, I don't know why it does that. Hopefully, there we go. It's back again. Excellent. She was a champion of women's rights, gay rights, the poor and other marginalised groups. And initially, she actually struggled to find employment as a woman, as a lawyer. Partly because she was a woman and partly because she was a mother. So it just kind of shows that whilst things have changed, she had to really fight to be recognised and to take her place. So I'll bring the words up, but as I say, there aren't that many of them. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time, and then we repeat that on the tune. And we might do one of the other sections as well. So, in honour of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and all the other inspiring women. Do, 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 do. Real change, enduring change. 1, 2. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Happens one step at a time. I'll put those two together. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Your turn. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Loose jaw, we didn't do our ya 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 ya. Let's just do that. Ya 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 ya. And again. Ya 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 ya. It's a lovely relaxed jaw. I'll do it once more, that phrase. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Your turn. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. And with that time, see if you can keep the breath coming to power the note all the way through so it doesn't just die out. I'll do it once more, you do it after me. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. And real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. So the happens goes down the second time round and it just steps back up again. Happens one step at a time, your turn. Happens one step at a time. Half yawn. Open up your inner bathroom, your inner echoey, your throat and mouth. So you've got this lovely resonant chambers in there. I'll do both those. We'll do those call and response again. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time, your turn. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Let's loop those two round together. 1, 2. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Loose jaw. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. So loose jaw and real releasing with the belly at the end of each phrase. Engaging the muscles down here to start with. So imagine panting dog. Real. So really see if you can feel the power coming from these muscles. Let's go around twice more. It's a big release here at the end and engaging to control the breath right through to the end of those long notes so it doesn't sort of dwindle off at the end. 1, 2, 3. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Lovely. And then there's another part that goes with that. We'll maybe do them one after another. We'll see how confident we're feeling. So the words of this one are real change happens one step at a time. I'm just putting them in the chat here. Real change happens one step at a time. And it comes in one beat later than that one that we've just done, but I'll do it for you. So that starts the one we did starts there. This one starts here. Real change happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Real change happens. So it comes after a clap or a kind of the first beat, where the other part goes. Real change happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Real change happens. One step at a time. One step at a time. I'll put that together. Real change happens. One step at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Real change happens. One step at a time. I ran out of breath there. Real 2, 3, 4. Real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. Second time. Real change happens. One step at a time. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. It's a tricky note there. It's about on my break between my low voice and my high voice. It might be similar for you. So we need to really choose. Am I going to sing it in my higher voice or my low voice? Let's try it once more. Real, 3, 4. Real change happens. One step at a time. So let's try the whole thing. So the first phrase, I'll recap the first phrase of that slightly different part. Real change happens. One step at a time. So that's the first half. And real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. Whole thing. And real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. And again. Real change happens. One step at a time. Real change happens. One step at a time. And then the original, let's go back to the original one. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. And again. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Let's sing that with a track. The tune part, the one we did to start with, the real change, enduring change, comes in first, and then the other one. Real change happens. If you want to just stick to the tune, that's absolutely fine. I'll alternate between them and enjoy. And we'll channel the power and the strength of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Look her up if you don't know much about her. She really is quite a phenomenal woman. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change happens one step at a time. Real change happens one step at a time. Real change happens one step at a time. There we go. Should we do that once more? And if you just stayed on the first one, you might want to have a go at the second one. Totally up to you. Let's have a go once more. Now we know what's happening. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change happens one step at a time. Real change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. Real 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 change happens one step at a time. Lovely. I hope you enjoyed that. It's really feels really nice to really acknowledge the power of some of these women who've paved the way for us. So let's go to Ireland now. A Working on the Railway. I'm going to have a wee drink first. Oh, got my music stand a little too far away to reach it comfortably. Here we go. So you may well know this song. In 1841, me corduroy breeches I put on. Me corduroy breeches I put on, a working on the railway. Let me find the words. There's rather a lot of words here. I don't think we're going to go through them all today. That's verse 1. Verse 2. I'll put 4 verses in. I think that's maybe enough for today. We'll see how we get on. If we feel like we want to do them all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. My goodness, there's 8 altogether. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. So you may know this already. I'll do it section by section. So, engaging the muscles here before we start. So we're sitting nice and upright. Engaging them here in a sideways yawn. So we're as wide as we can be in the throat. Muscles engaged before we start to sing, so we're all ready to land on that first note. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. 1, 2. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. My corduroy breeches I put on, a working on the railway. Corduroy breeches I put on, a working on the railway. I'll do that again. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. 1, 2. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. I'll do it once more, call and response. You need a really agile jaw, and it's bouncy. So these muscles here really need to work as well. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. Let's do it as short as we can. So in music, that would be called staccato. So we're bouncing off each note. I'll do it again. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. 1, 2. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. So every note staccato, I was making the last ones long. Let's do the railway long and all the others really short. Let's see if we've got it all the way through. 1, 2. 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. So let's see if we can do it in one breath. I'll go a bit faster. Really, really bouncy. Engaging here. Doggy pant. And a 1, 2. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. And 1, 2. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. My corduroy breeches I put on, a-walking on the railway. Sorry, I got the words wrong there. There we go. Let's do that to the second verse. In 1842, I found myself a job to do. I found myself a job to do, a-working on the railway. A 1, 2. In 1842, I found myself a job to do. I found myself a job to do, a-walking on the railway. Lovely. And then we've got the chorus. Tiggery-roo-ree-roo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. 1, 2. Let's just say that. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, a-working on the railway. And it's the same tune, I think. Pretty sure it is. Tiggery-roo. I keep wanting to say roo. It's ooh. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. 1, 2. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, a-walking on the railway. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, a-walking on the railway. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. 1, 2. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, a-walking on the railway. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, a-walking on the railway. And let's do that super bouncy now in a oneer. So a bit faster. Do. A 1, 2. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, a-walking on the way. A 1, 2. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. It's hard with that join and the breath, isn't it? I'm going to stand up. Let's try once more. A 1, 2. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. Again. And a 1, 2. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay. Tiggery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. How's that going? It's tricky. It's a good one to practice. Let's go through it once more, see if we can get a bit smoother. But we're still bouncy. I mean, the join are going up into the higher voice and then back down again. Tigger. A 1, two. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, 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 walking on the railway. One more. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, 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 walking on the railway. Well done. And now what we're going to do actually when we sing this, we're just going to do the first tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. So you hold that one on. 4. Tickery-oo, tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. Let's go. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. And again. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. Let's see how we get on, and we're going to pause at the end of the verse before we go into the chorus, so we've got a chance to really get our breath in, because this is one of those songs that has no let up normally. So we're going to give it a bit of let up. So it's time to get the breath in. So we'll do, and on the chorus, totally up to you if you sing all the way through or if you want to do the bit that holds on that long note. In, are you ready? Lovely long spine, shoulders back, shoulders to ears and down. Half panting dog, sideways yawn. Muscles engaged in. 1, 2. In 1841, my corduroy breeches I put on. I put my corduroy breeches on, walking on the railway. Release. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, 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 walking on the railway. Release. In 1842, I found myself a job to do. I found myself a job to do, walking on the railway. Release. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, 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 walking on the railway. Release. 1843, I broke my shovel across my knee. I broke my shovel across my knee, walking on the railway. Release. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, walking on the railway. Release. 1844, my belly was empty, my back was sore. Belly was empty, my back was sore, walking on the railway. Release. Tickery-oo-ree-oo-ree-ay, 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 walking on the railway. Lovely. It's quite tiring, that one, isn't it? A lot of words to get your jaw round. It's good jaw exercise. So, The Fields of Athenry, beautiful song. Totally different sort of song. Gonna have a wee drink. Very sad song. Let me find the words. So written in 1979 by Pete St. John, who said he'd heard a story about a young man from Athenry who'd been caught stealing corn to feed his family and was then deported to Australia. That's the first verse and the chorus. And Shirley was showing us various actions to do in the chorus in the Zoom session last week. Here we go. There's the chorus. And then the second verse just coming. And there's a chorus between each verse, but I'm not going to put that in each time or I'll be here all day. Oh, too many words in that one. You like the railway song? Excellent. Your comments just got in before the last line of this. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry, Joan. I'll pop that in anyway. I'm sure you've probably got the words in front of you, but I just like to put them here in case anybody's here who doesn't have the words in front of them. So, I'll do it bit by bit. By a lonely prison wall. 1, 2. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they are taking you away. Michael, they are taking you away. For you stole Trevelyan's corn. For you stole Trevelyan's corn. So the young might see the morn. So the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry. Ah, messed that one up again. Let's do that one again. Low and low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing. Our love was on the wing. We had dreams and songs to sing. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Let's just focus on the chorus for a minute. This is where we've got the actions. Low lie the fields of Athenry. Low. Let's do that bit slightly faster. 1, 2. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing. was on the wing. We had dreams and songs to sing. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Whole of the chorus. Low. A 1, 2. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Once more, and low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Lovely. So verse, we'll go slightly faster. And I think we broke it after wall, didn't we, last time? By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. So let's do that 1, 2, 3. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they are taking you away. And Michael, they are taking you away. For you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. One breath. And for you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. It's so low, now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Whole of the verse. By 2, 3. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they are taking you away. For you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Onto the chorus. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we saw the small free birds fly. Release. Our love was on the wing. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Second verse. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. let us marry when you're free. 'Gainst the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they ran me down. Now you must raise a child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we saw the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely harbour wall, she watched the last star falling. As the prison ship sailed out against the sky, for she'll live and hope and pray for her love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Lovely. It's another tricky song over the break, so really good practice. And let's have a little break ourselves. So we decided the poem that is going to be read from this group at the Zoom session on the 17th, which is going to be Down by the Sally Gardens by William Butler Yeats. What else to say? Anyone coming to the session on the 17th, and even if you don't normally come to the Zoom sessions, you'd be very, very welcome. The invitation is to wear something green for St. Patrick's Day. If you've got any Irish-themed food or Irish-themed clothes or pictures or an Irish mug or anything, bring it along just to get the real flavour. Don't know if anybody makes or eats soda bread, or if you've got a can of Guinness to hand, whatever. Potatoes, I guess. We could bring some potatoes along, couldn't we? And there is possibly going to be an intergenerational art workshop run by the Whale Arts Centre over in West Edinburgh to generate some artwork for the small book that we're going to produce, which will include some of your stories about memories of singing and other bits of writing that some people have done recently. And to that workshop, Ellie says grandchildren, nieces, nephews, great-grandchildren, great-nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, anyone who's connected with you in any way would be very welcome to come along, particularly if they really enjoy doing art, and that will be on Zoom. So at the moment, we'll have a chat tomorrow in the Zoom session. Ellie just asked me to float the idea. So if you think you might be interested, you don't have to be good at art or have done much art before or anything. It's just if you'd be interested, then let me know. Or if you think somebody in your family might be interested, do let me know. And you could have your art in print, or your grandchildren's art in print, or whatever. So the Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. Let me find the words here. It's a little bit too much to go in one go. There we go. Let's just do the tune to na 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 na. A hum. Let's see if we can do it to a hum. I'll do a bit to start with. So just very gentle. So sitting nice and upright, feet nicely planted on the floor, shoulders up and back, and engaging these muscles down here. Half yawn. 2 and let's do it to na 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 this time. Lovely relaxed jaw. Na na na. I'll do it line by line. Na 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 na, your turn. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Super relaxed. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Okay, words. Let's bring the words in. I'm going to stand again. So I'll do line by line. May the road rise up to meet you. Let's go. May the road rise up to meet you. May always at your back. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand, in the hollow of his hand. Let's try the whole way through. So lovely, gentle. All the work coming from down here. Let's just soften our necks a wee bit again. Mine has been tensing up a bit as we've been singing. It's just kind of what we tend to do. And engaging down here. Lovely. Wide open throat and gaping jaw. May 1, 2, 3. May the road rise up to meet you, release. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand, in the hollow of his hand. All the way through. May the road to... And I think we were going... Sorry, I got confused at the end. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. I may have confused you utterly and done it half singing through and half repeating at the end. So apologies for that. We are going all the way through this time. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Let's go once more, super smooth and super, just wishing well to everybody you know and care about, and everybody, even just wishing well to everybody out there. May, particular good wishes to all women today. May 2, 3. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Beautiful song. Hope you've enjoyed singing that. So, another song for International Women's Day. I'm going to lift my sister up. So this is the words and music by a woman called Faya Rose Toure, who was the first African-American woman judge in Alabama. So it's a lovely song, this. Let me just find the words for you. I'm going to lift my sister up. She is not heavy. And that goes 3 times. And then if I don't lift her up, goes 3 times, I will fall down. So it kind of just really emphasizes how we are so interconnected, that actually if we don't care for our sisters, our brothers, that the song then goes on, I'm going to lift my brother up, etc., etc. I'm going to lift my mother up, I'm going to lift my father up, I'm going to lift my people up. That actually we all need to look out for each other and care for each other. Otherwise we all struggle, we're all going to fall down. So I've put all of those in there. So it's quite a simple little tune. I'm gonna lift my sister up. 1, 2. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. She is not heavy. And you can really grow on that heavy. I'll do the whole line. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. Your turn. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. And then you start where you've landed for the next I'm gonna lift my sister up. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. And then you start there again. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. So the first 3 are all the same. The first 3, the first 2, I don't lift her up. So they've got 3 beats after them. So it's if I don't lift her up. 1, 2, 3. If I don't lift her up. 1, 2, 3. If I don't lift her up. 1, 2. I will fall down. Let's see if we've got that whole thing. So there's 3 beats, and then before that, I will fall down, there's 2 beats. I'll clap the beats. If I, 1, 2. If I don't lift her up. If I don't lift her up. If I don't lift her up, I will fall down. And again. If I don't lift her up. If I don't lift her up. If I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Let's go once more, really strong. If I don't lift her up. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Okay, I'll recap the first half so that I'm going to lift my sister up. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. Your turn. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. So one breath. We'll go slightly faster. 1, 2. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. And then we do the same starting where we've landed. So let's go on the second one together. 1, 2. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. And then the third one starts there. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. So let's do those 3. 1, 2. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. Let's go on. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. All again. And 1, 2. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. One breath. I'm gonna lift my sister up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. I'm going to lift my brother. I'm going to lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm going to lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. If I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, I will fall down. My mother. I'm gonna lift my mother up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my mother up, she is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my mother up, she is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Father, I'm gonna lift my father up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my father up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my father up, he is not heavy. If I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, I will fall down. People. I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up, they are not heavy. If I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, I will fall down. Lovely. And we're going to finish with a very gentle let the circle be wide round the fireside. So I'm not going to go over this. Hopefully everybody here knows it. And we've got the tune, and we have a higher part as well, which comes in second time round. So whichever you feel, move to sing. Song of Friendship.
Let the circle be wide round the fireside, and we'll soon make room for you. Let your heart feel no fear, for there's no strangers here, just friends that you never knew. Let the circle be wide round the fireside, and we'll soon make room for you. Let your heart feel no fear, for there's no strangers here, just friends that you never knew. Let the circle be wide round the fireside, and we'll soon make room for you. Let your heart feel no fear, for there's no strangers here, just friends that you never knew. Let the circle be wide round the fireside, and we'll soon make room for you. Let your heart feel no fear, for there's no strangers here, just friends that you never knew.
Lovely.
While
Oh. Sorry, went onto another track by mistake. So that's just about us. Let's just check in with our breath to finish. So just feel the hands rising and falling under the chest after all that singing. So that's another song that Let the Circle Be Wide that we'll be singing at the Irish Song second session, because Tommy Sands was Irish. So just allowing the breath to return back to its natural rhythm. Hands on the belly. Just allowing the breath to move the hands as it rises and falls. And sometimes just by placing the hands on the belly, we can encourage the breath to deepen. Encourage the diaphragm to work rather than really straining with these muscles here. And then sides of the body. Just allowing the breath to really enter all parts of the chest area. And then hands round to the back or leaning against the back of the chair. And that's us for today. Have a good Monday. Thank you for joining me, and I'll